What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is the King and I Life podcast, hosted by myself, Soul Toucher the Poet, and my brother, Son Soul X, in his joint. Check it out. Hit us up, www.kingandilife.com, for all our podcast info. Subscribe to whatever podcast platform that you choose. Also, hit us up, KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Email us your suggestions, your feedback, and all that good stuff. Tune in to us live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Wednesdays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And make sure you like, subscribe, and share, because we are all over all those social media platforms. Stay tuned for the good stuff. Yeah.
How you going to college? You got a child to take care of. You have a child to raise. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to college and that's it, deuces. Nah, bro, you can't do that. It's like my youngest son had sex with his girlfriend. I'm like, bro, we've had conversations and you're still doing this. And it's like, you looking to go to college and you doing this, and this girl is 2 years young, 2 grades lower than you. You're going to mess up her path in high school, and you're going to mess up your pathway to college, because you're not going to be sitting here talking about, oh, yeah, dad, I want to go to college. Like, you got a child to take care of. I don't want to hear that. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a hot one right there.
Yeah. And these kids don't want to hear it. And some adults don't want to hear it.
No, they don't. Unfortunately. I agree with you. I'm the type where I feel like it should be a woman's choice. Especially in some situations where that female has been taken advantage of, and I won't get into the details about that, but we all can read between the lines. When it comes down to men, and I can't say it's all men telling women what to do with their body, because that's not the case. We know that this is a government thing, and our government is made up of both men and women and everything in between. Not to offend anyone, but I can't see telling someone what to do with their body. For me, it's the same thing as someone, who wants to have a sex change. I can't tell you, yes, it's good to do that, or no, don't do that. That is you. That is your body. What you eat don't make me use the bathroom.
It sure don't.
So, to each their own, I'll say from that point of view. But to overturn it this late in a game, I'm like, how does that make sense? I can't make heads or tails of that. And to be honest with you, I really don't give a damn. And that's not trying to be mean towards, or insensitive towards the subject matter. It's just simply saying, I'm not a female. My body can't produce a child like that. So why am I sticking my nose into this situation that has absolutely damn near nothing to do with me?
Right.
Only thing I can contribute to this subject matter is an opinion.
That's it.
And, not to be too harsh towards myself, but F my opinion, because, again, it doesn't affect me.
Right.
So, yeah, I just think that it was a complete and total mockery of our justice system to take that away from half of our population.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah. I agree. Let people make their own decisions. Good, bad, or indifferent. Because at the end of the day, so the other thing about it that bothers me is you want to dictate what a person can and cannot do with their body. And what they're essentially doing is saying, if you get pregnant or get somebody pregnant, you have to have it. And which increases the burden on society as a whole because we're forced to take care of it
Right.
in the form of social services and stuff like that. We're paying for that. Um, so then that is another contributor to our taxes going up and down and this, that, and the other, and whatever the case may be. So it's like, you know, they put all these things in place for whenever they put them in place. And because society changes, some of these things stay in the old form that they have been in. And people get so accustomed to handouts and this, that, and the other, pats on the butt, that they feel entitled to get what someone else was getting before. And it's like, at what point do we look at the burden overall? And it's like, you know, we need to be like China or somewhere where people can only have one or two kids. And that's it. I think I'm a fan of that. So I mean, but we're in America, and in American fashion, that is mean. Oh my god.
So, all right, we're coming down to the last two um, of our talking points, meaning our subject matters that we've had in the past year or this past year. So, Deion Sanders, who is one of my favorite athletes of all time. I'm not even gonna, confine him to football,
Mm-hmm.
but as an athlete, he's pretty much in my top three.
That's just sliced bread.
Yeah, I can't even put those other two athletes either before or after him. But all the criticism this man has gone through, I think is terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime you have someone of that magnitude who's given so much only to receive basically the people's behind in a certain regard in return, I think is utterly ridiculous.
Right.
But not only are you not basically getting paid per your contract, you're actually coming out of your own pockets to make this program work, meaning at Jackson, Mississippi,
Mm-hmm.
that university, you're also utilizing your resources as far as people who have, like with Nike and Gatorade and, other contacts like that, business wise, that, you've been in the industry for so long, and then you are utilizing some of those friendships to make things happen for this historically black college. And this is the type of treatment you receive when you set forth, bigger goals for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the man ain't supposed to stay there forever. He came, he conquered, he did what he was supposed to do, meaning he put your whole school on the map. And now he's moving on to a bigger program, and there's nothing wrong with that. Instead of congratulating this man, you want to dog him. Like, that's so sickening to me.
Mm.
But that's just my take on it.
So I don't know if you watch Club Shay Shay, Shannon Sharp, who is a Hall of Fame football player, tight end. He's on he has his thing with Skip Bayless, but Shannon Sharp has his own little thing. Right. And he had Deion Sanders on there just the other day. I didn't send that to you, did I?
Yeah, you did. I actually started watching it, and then I got called away, so I knew they finish it.
He had Deion Sanders on there, and they was talking about this. And Deion Sanders said something that I said when we had our podcast.
Right.
And I can't quote him verbatim, but I'm a paraphrase it, and it's kind of along the lines of what I said. A lot of these people who are out there opening their mouths and saying this and saying that have not contributed anything Not a dollar, not time, not nothing. But they have so much to say. And that was one of the things that got under my skin about it, because again, this is something that goes along with a lot of complaints that a lot of our people have.
Right.
They want to complain about all this, that, and the other, yet they have nothing to contribute. In that interview, he stated, and again, I'm paraphrasing, that he wasn't supposed to be there that long anyway. He was not supposed to be there that long.
Right.
He said, give him like 2 years to do whatever, and then he was moving on. And Shannon Sharp asked him, what if they would have asked you for 5 years? He said he would have did that. But he wasn't supposed to be there that long. He also talked about, because, again, this another thing that I kind of mentioned, and it's something that was in the headlines, that, a lot of people were saying that Deion Sanders sold them a dream. And he was like, what dream did I sell you? Why did you stop dreaming? Like, your dreams don't start and end with that man.
Right.
And it's also something that you had mentioned about leaving back the blueprint. He said, I put forth the blueprint. It's up to them to build on it. And then another thing that was brought up was, getting that school into a bigger conference. To which he was saying, it wouldn't have been worth it. Like, and he was talking about these games that got played in all these other places that could have been played at Jackson State, or Jackson State going to play certain games elsewhere, big games with like a school like a Notre Dame or something like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at the cost of it, like 300,000 for a chartered flight. Then you got to look at the hotel costs. Then you got to look at the food costs, and you got to look at all these costs. And at this point, you easily at like $1 million. Where's that money coming from?
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he was talking about how all these people have a lot to say, and he was like, the alumni who have graduated from that school are not giving back to that school. So it's like, where is the support and all this, that, and the other? So, it was just interesting that, how he was bringing a lot of that stuff to light, a lot of stuff that, we thought of and we talked about. And it's like, y'all people out here complaining, whining, and crying, but, a lot of y'all are misguided in what you're saying.
Yeah. It's kind of like how Dr. Umar Johnson was speaking on that situation with Dion, but he didn't have all the facts.
He never has all. I mean, he says some good stuff, but at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, who are you to make a judgment on someone else's whatever? And you said you watched that whole Umar Johnson interview when he was on what you call it, right?
Yeah. On
Breakfast Club, I think it was.
Breakfast Club, yeah.
The ironic thing about it in that interview was he said, I couldn't depend on our people to do certain things, so he had to go to where?
he had to go to the vanilla people.
So how dare you? How dare you say what you're saying when you pretty much experienced the reality of our situation as a whole? It doesn't matter what those other people do. Our people ain't even taking care of business. So kill that noise.
Yes, sir. Get it right on about it, her, they say. So this was a topic that I think we bounced it around. And the topic, our topic is toxic mothers. This particular subject came up when a mother in She's from Jamaica. I think was it Harlem, New York?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Um, she raised her son, and a particular situation came about where she asked her son to go and get something for her. Um, I want to say it was something along the lines of, wasn't it drugs?
I forgot what it was, but I know
I
she wanted
forgot.
him to go to the
Yeah,
store or something.
yeah, something along those lines. Forgive me for misquoting. But anyway, because the young man was tired and insisted, "Hey, give me a minute to get some rest and then I'll go," because he didn't get up at that very moment and do what she told him to do, she murdered her own child. Now, um, that to me is the very definition of toxic right there.
Man, that's beyond toxic.
Yeah. One, this is your own child. You murdered your own child. Like, this isn't television. This is real life. You murdered your own child.
Mm.
Two, over something so simple that it could have waited. I
Right.
don't give a dang what it was, whether it be drugs or a freaking sandwich from the corner store. It could have waited.
Yeah.
So, three, your son is not here anymore. Four,
And your ass in jail.
exactly. That's my point. You locked up. Most likely, they're not gonna let you out.
Mm-mm.
That case had such a high profile on it. And again, this is something that has been done in history before, many times before. But at this day and age, and I'm gonna broaden the topic here a little bit. When it comes down to a mother and father treating their child like that, like, have we learned nothing from history? Our own history, the history of our own families, like not only our culture but our own families. Like, there are certain things that I grew up with, as a child, that I witnessed, that my son will never witness from me or
I know that's right.
close to me. Never. It'll never happen. And I know some people say don't ever say never, but
shit,
never goddamn happen.
Never, 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 never.
But it just blows me away that we are still repeating the same cycle in this day and time in history.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when will we get it? We can't keep doing the same thing expecting a different result. Like, people have really got to get over this whole racial thing and this inequality thing as far as the sexes and stuff. Like, as long as we keep on fighting against each other, man, we're not gonna get anywhere.
Yep.
And we can point the finger at the powers that be all we goddamn want to, but it's not gonna change unless we as the people change it. I don't know, people be like, well, you're an idealist. Maybe I am. And it'll probably be a long time before actual changes on that level will happen. I'll probably be long gone. But I think it's going to take something miraculous to come about in our society and across the world that's going to make the people stop and say, enough is enough.
Yep. Pretty much. I mean, that's what it is. I can't understand it. I just can't understand it. I refuse to try. It happens too much. Along that lines, but not the same is, right. These kids who are at home and they happen to get a hold of their parents' guns and end up shooting themselves or a sibling, which is crazy to me. Oh, horrible. Yeah, and on the lines of what you were saying, and I think I want to say you sent it to me or I sent it to you or whatever we talked about, whatever the case may be. So the little jackass kid who got mad at his mother because she wouldn't buy him something on Amazon or something, he shot his mother.
I want to say it was a game or something.
It was either a game or something for a game.
Right.
And it's like it's so much in there to unpack. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to understand at what point in this child's upbringing did he not have respect for, no, I'm not getting it for you. No, you don't deserve it. No, you don't need it. Like, and why was this gun accessible to this child?
That's one of the things, man, is, again, it blows me away. You know, as a parent, you always want to provide the best you can for your child, you know, for those who actually give a dang about our seedlings. But I'm of the practice of no is something each child should learn the definition and learn the definition very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's actually a demand for you as a parent to give your child a no.
Yeah.
If you give them that yes every time they ask for something or they want something, even if you're capable of giving it to them, it's not teaching them the respect that comes along with what you as a parent had to sacrifice to give that item or that particular thing to them.
Right.
Like we as parents, you know, the ones of us who are responsible, and there's no jab at anyone, who get out here and we grind and we work and we, you know, do what's necessary to provide for our seedlings. We do it.
Yeah.
Because we realize, you know, this child, they didn't ask to come here. We asked more or less for them to come here because we knew exactly what we were doing when we laid down with our other half that produced that child.
Right.
So again, you basically told the universe you want this responsibility. You got the responsibility, whether you're ready for it or not.
Mm-hmm.
You still produce this child.
Yep.
But you have to be willing to tell your child no.
Not no, but hell no.
Exactly.
Get your ass down somewhere. Fuck out my face. Oh, bastard.
Again, when we were coming up, our parents, it was just a simply no. And they didn't give you an answer why, you know, they felt that way, why they would give you the answer no. It was just no.
If it wasn't a no, it was you. Before you get in the store, you better not.
Yeah, beforehand. You better not get your butt in here and ask for so and so.
You better not touch nothing. You better not look at nothing. You better not ask. And we still had the balls to do it. And it's like, yo.
Oh, man. Yep. You go in the store with your lips looking normal and then come out with them all swollen up.
Mm-hmm.
You get popped in the mouth. Pop in the mouth. Or my mom, she would take my skin and twist it. Ooh, I hated that. Oh, that was the worst. But yeah, as much as we love our kids and we try to guide them the best we can, you have to tell them no.
Yeah. But yeah. All right. So before we close out, let's run down some of the guests that we had on the podcast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And chop it up about that a little bit. So you got the list.
All right. So again, we want to send our shots out. You want to do them one at a time, or
yeah, one at a time. One at a time.
Okay. Richard Blanks from Costa Rica.
Yes.
I never, and I mean never in my life, met someone on that level of energy where it was just radiating from my screen like that.
Yeah, that was a dope interview.
Like this gentleman, if I had a boss like that, sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Like he was such a encourager and someone who wasn't scared to share knowledge and man, he just seemed like such a wonderful person. And
Yeah.
I just want to thank him for coming on our platform and sharing, the information in the fashion that he did. So shout out to Richard Blank, and again, thanks for coming on, sir.
Yeah, man, it's just fascinating his story because I forgot where exactly he said he was from, but he's traveled around the U.S. and ended up settling down in Costa Rica. He speaks several languages. He got a call center out there, and just what he's accomplished is amazing. Um, for those who don't know, there are a lot of Americans in Costa Rica.
Yes,
But like you were saying, his energy and his knowledge and everything that he put out was just fascinating. It's one of those interviews that we had that the audience really really appreciated, and definitely thanks and shout out to him for coming on the platform. He did extend us an invitation to Costa Rica, so we have to link up with him and see how real that is, and get ourselves out there. I've been to Costa Rica once, and I would love to go back.
Yeah, I never been, but I sure look forward to going. But I believe he was a Jersey kid, as they say.
Yeah, that's right, Jersey. Yep.
But, again, the next person we got on the list is Rano.
Yes, our brother Rano,
Yes,
Mannheim Deep. My birthday twin. It was great finally getting him on. He's been doing this music for a minute, and I told him a long time ago, I asked him a long time ago, yo, when you want to come on the podcast? He's like, yo, when I get the thing out, I'm gonna come on, blah blah blah, and came out, brought him on, and that was dope.
Yes, sir, definitely. He's a singer, songwriter, and entertainer. So again, shout out to our brother Rano. Keep doing your thing, brother. And again, anytime you want to come back on the platform, you're more than welcome. And we always gonna support you and keep your content out there, sir. Love
Yeah.
your music. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah, that EP is fire. The first single was Hold On. I know he's doing great numbers out there, so shout out to that. Oh, gotta send my thoughts and prayers out to his wife. She's going through a little something. I don't want to misquote it, but she's going through a little health thing right now. So shout out to them, and
Yes,
I'm gonna check up on them a little later, make sure everything is good. But shout out to them, and hope everything's going well.
for sure. Prayers are going with his family. And the next person, who is our one of our personal favorites, Book of Genesis. From
Yes, the YouTube cousin. Look, I love her so much.
Yeah, she is.
That's my girl, man.
As they say, a realist. Because
Yes.
she's gonna keep it real with you all the time, and I love that about her. She's not gonna sugarcoat it too much.
Yeah.
She's gonna give you that raw, which is the way I like it.
And she got some damn stories for you, bro. She got some stories for you. Yeah, so like the first time I interacted with her was, let me see, what was I doing? I was either teleworking or something like that, and she used to do the midday podcast around this time of day. So I had jumped on one of her podcasts, and it was just cool, fun, relaxed, laid back, and all that good stuff. And from then on, we just collaborated here and there. She's come on us a few times, and very thankful for that. That is one person that will definitely come on with us. We give her some notice, and she got time, she will definitely come up, and we definitely return the favor. She's just hilarious. Yeah, she's one of my favorites out there. Definitely, and look, she has been slacking on the podcast just like us. Like, she has not put out a podcast in a minute, so I'm gonna have to get on her with that, because like when the weather was good, we was like, we going outside. Like, and that's the thing that I appreciate, because she feeds off us, we feed off of her, and it's like, yo, we gotta go outside. We are not going to be in the house with all this good weather. We are going